job at the best of my abilities, but I'm a human being. There would be mistakes that will have been committed, and sometimes serious mistakes that the impact on the lives of other people. Maybe it's a good time to take the opportunity to say to those people that their life was impacted negatively because the action that I would have taken, sorry to them, but I was trying to do the best for my out of my ability. And I hope those that come after us, they will continue. We must all remember that the product of our work as a public representatives is a satisfaction of the people of South Africa. Just continue to work towards that.
You must have watched the video of former Police Minister Bheki Cele sitting before Parliament's Ad Hoc Committee, his trademark hat in place, speaking with that blend of confidence and emotion we've come to expect. After 2 long days of tense questioning, Cele did something unexpected. He apologized. Yes, the same man known for his fiery speeches and sharp temper looked into the cameras and said he was sorry. He apologized to everyone he may have hurt during his years as Minister of Police. His words were simple but powerful: I'm human too. I make mistakes. For a man who built a career on projecting strength and command, it was an unusual moment of humility. Some South Africans saw sincerity. Others saw strategy. But either way, it got the nation talking. To understand why this matters, we must remember who Bheki Cele is and the path that brought him here. Over the past decade, Cele has been one of the most recognizable figures in South African politics. Whether addressing crime statistics, visiting the scenes of violent protests, or exchanging sharp words with journalists, he has always made his presence felt. His leadership style, strict, loud, sometimes confrontational, earned him both praise and criticism. Supporters saw a tough man trying to restore discipline in a crumbling police service. Critics saw arrogance and performance over progress. This week's committee hearing wasn't easy for him. MPs pressed him about corruption, mismanagement, and the failures of policing under his watch. For 2 full days, Cele defended his record, argued his points, and occasionally clashed with committee members. But in the middle of all that, came his softest moment, the apology. It wasn't a dramatic speech. He didn't beg for sympathy. He simply acknowledged that mistakes were made and that some of his actions hurt people. For South Africans used to leaders who dodged responsibility, that alone was worth noting. Still, the reaction has been mixed. Some said it's a sign of maturity, others dismissed it as political theater, a calculated move to reshape his image now that his political future looks uncertain. Let's not forget, Cele has been here before. Appointed Minister of Police in 2009 under Jacob Zuma, he came in promising to restore order and discipline. Yet, his first term ended in scandal. He was suspended in 2011 over allegations of irregular property leases for police headquarters. He denied wrongdoing but was later dismissed. Years later, when President Ramaphosa reinstated him in 2018, it felt like a second chance, a chance to finish what he started and clean up his image. But the challenges were enormous. Crime rates remained stubbornly high, police morale stayed low, and public confidence kept dropping. From the chaos of the July 2021 unrest to the outcry over gender-based violence, Cele often found himself at the center of controversy. His temper in public meetings, his clashes with community members, and even his argument with journalists went viral several times. He was, in short, a man constantly under the microscope. And now, before Parliament, perhaps for the last time as a senior political figure, he seemed to acknowledge that the job changed him. He said he never intended to hurt anyone, that he did his best under pressure, but that he too is human. That phrase, "I'm human too," has since become the headline. It struck a chord because it exposed something rare in South African politics: vulnerability. But what does an apology mean in the world of politics? For ordinary citizens, saying sorry might be an act of healing. For a politician, it can be a double-edged sword, seen as weakness by opponents and insincerity by critics. Some MPs reportedly rolled their eyes during his statement. Others nodded in quiet agreement. On social media, it was chaos. Some praised him for having the courage to apologize, others joked that he should apologize for the state of the police force, or even for that hat he never removes. Still, behind the humor lies a serious question about leadership. Can a leader admit mistakes and still command respect? Or does saying sorry mark the end of authority? In a society where accountability is often dodged, Cele's apology might signal a shift, if only a small one. It reminds the public that leaders, no matter how loud or proud, remain flawed human beings trying to navigate impossible systems. That doesn't mean we should ignore the damage done under his watch. The South African police service still faces deep problems: corruption, inefficiency, poor training, and low conviction rates. Communities still fear that calling the police won't bring help. And many still remember Cele's angry responses during public protests, where emotion sometimes replaced empathy. For them, an apology cannot undo years of frustration. Still, it's hard to deny that his words carried some emotional weight. Perhaps he realizes that his time in government may be coming to an end. Perhaps he's reflecting on how history will remember him, not just as the man in the hat, but as a flawed leader who tried, stumbled, and finally admitted fault. Whether his apology will earn him redemption or ridicule remains to be seen. His testimony also came at a sensitive political moment. The government of national unity is still young, and tensions between parties are rising. All political figures are being quietly moved aside to make room for new ones. Cele's apology might have been a way of preparing for that reality, of exiting gracefully rather than defiantly. In a sense, this was not just Bheki Cele's personal reckoning. It was a reflection of South Africa's broader political fatigue. The country is tired of deflection and denial. People want leaders who can admit when things go wrong and take responsibility, even if it comes years too late. Whether Cele's apology was sincere or strategic, it opened the door for a conversation about humility in leadership, a trait sorely missing in our political culture. So what do you think, South Africa? Should Bheki Cele be forgiven? Was his apology the mark of a man who finally looked in the mirror, or just another politician trying to rewrite his legacy? Whatever your answer, his words have added another chapter to one of the most complex careers in South African politics. From his days in KwaZulu-Natal activism to his fiery tenure in the police ministry, Bheki Cele has always been larger than life, controversial, passionate, and unpredictable. And now, perhaps for the first time, he's simply human. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe Bheki Cele's apology was genuine? Or was it just another performance in South Africa's never-ending political theatre? See you next time. 7,620 characters.